Hi everybody, today is Monday, February 15th, and I didn't plan on doing a video today, so I'm sure I'll probably need a lot of editing here, but this also will probably be short and sweet. So we had a meeting with our church tonight, and it was so good. It was such confirmation from some things I've been talking about here and just kind of working through. And I mentioned before, I love when that happens because I just take it as like a sign from God that this is good to be dealing with this stuff. So I'm really excited. I know I mentioned before here, and I think there's like a few videos down that talks about like just a fear of the future and a fear of marriage and just like a lack of faith in the future God has for me, and that it's a good thing. You know, I think I was talking to my sister earlier today and a little bit yesterday, and there are just some things that I think I didn't know was okay to ask or to want from God. You know, things that I thought were like shallow or insignificant or vain, you know, but like just being free to ask God things. Like I don't have to feel silly asking God things. And I know that sounds like duh, Robin, because he knows what's in my heart anyway. He knows what I want anyway. And even if I've been like afraid to ask it or hesitant to ask it, he knows it's in there. But like he's not gonna make fun of me, or you know, if I ask amiss, like if I ask the wrong thing, but my heart is really like, God, I'm just asking, you know, like I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, Lord, then show me, you know, like I trust you. I ultimately want God to be pleased with my life. I want it to make him smile, you know, like I want him to just be so excited about our relationship, you know, like I don't know, even that sounds a little vain, you know, but he loves me, and he loves when our relationship is growing and thriving and when there's movement, and that's a good thing. You know, I shouldn't feel weird about that. But I think just the more I learn about God, the more I learn about how much God loves me, the more free even my prayers can be, you know? So I don't have to be nervous about asking God to bless my businesses, or asking God to give me more ideas for businesses, or send people who want to work alongside me or who can help me in my businesses. Like, I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be like afraid or timid to ask God for the things I want. And there's such freedom and beauty in that. And I'm really excited, you know, just as the Lord's been showing me different areas where I've just been fearful, you know, or just doubting his plans for my life. Our apostle, she encouraged us to like work on that, you know? So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like this is right in line with like what it means to be free. Like the whole thing we've been talking about, where I don't have to worry about people's opinions or the limitations based on, so like the way I grew up, just, I mean, poverty was all around. I got very familiar with lack, and you know, I think it put a cap on like what I felt like I could believe for and want and dream about and desire and really think that I could have. And I was talking to my sister about this earlier, like sometimes the things we're exposed to at a young age, I think Satan uses to like put a cap on our ability to dream and our ability to expect more. And a few weeks ago, our apostle encouraged us to, we had a conversation in a Zoom meeting, and she encouraged me to like put the word expectation on my wall, and just to be reminded that is like, I gotta set my expectation high. I think I got used to, or it felt safer to prepare to be disappointed, you know, to set the bar low. And you know, if my expectations were exceeded, great, but I wasn't gonna expect it, you know, like I was gonna just, all right, be happy with what I can be happy with, and just be okay with that, you know? But I just am so excited to expect more. I know that seems so little to people, but like, low expectations can be such an area of bondage. And I didn't even think of it like that until tonight, where like just this place of almost apathy about my future, you know, like I'll always be like these thoughts are like, I'll always be striving, it'll take me forever to do like the most simple things financially or whatever, you know, like all these thoughts that try to bombard my mind, and how comparison tends to be such a prominent thing where it's like, man, why can't I get it like this, or why can't it seem so easy like that, or whatever. And it's foolishness, and it's not godly at all, and it's dumb. It's dumb, and I don't have time for that. But I've given so much of my time to it, to comparison, and to thinking small and dreaming little. And you know, I remember I knew somebody who I really cared about, and I remember one day I told them that I felt small around them. And while I do think there were choices they were making that contributed to that, I have to take responsibility for any time I feel small. And I can't even say somebody else makes me feel small, because I have to know who I am enough. I have to be confident in who God made me, so that nobody can make me feel small. And that's not from a place of like arrogance, or like I'm better than people, or like or that I don't submit myself under people, because I do, and I should. But like, the God of the universe decided that the world needed me. The God of the universe loves me. He actively pursues a relationship with me. He loves to talk to me. He makes me laugh. He is the reason I sing. Like, why would I be small? I'm so grateful for God. You know, in this path to freedom, it's taking some twists and turns that I did not expect, and I'm having to have conversations I didn't want to have. I'm having to deal with things I didn't know were still in me, and it is very painful. And you guys see some of that pain, but there's a lot you don't see, because a lot of times I don't want to film in the heat of the moments. But these are happy tears because, well, they're both, right? They're happy tears because I'm being awakened to this reality that I don't have to ever feel small. And they're a little bit of sad tears because I think about all the time I wasted responding to my environment, or responding to how other people treated me. And I didn't have to. You know, I have been esteemed and affirmed by God. And there is no better, like, there's no better stamp of approval than that. It doesn't exist. I don't have to worry about when I was rejected, or who I was rejected by, or who will reject me. That's okay. That's okay. I am loved by the creator of flowers and stars and plants and animals. Like, he loves me. And I'm just amazed, and I'm grateful, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what this season of life looks like. You know, walking in freedom, not comparing myself, not being afraid, dreaming big, expecting much, and expecting those expectations to be met, and really expecting those expectations to be exceeded. That's really what we're doing. I'm sorry. I know I'm sniffling and I'm excited. I'm excited because God is really good, and he really loves me. And I mean, yeah. I remember being a little girl, and I grew up in a Christian home, right? So there's, to some degree, I was exposed to Christianity my whole life. Like I was always learning about Jesus from the womb to the tomb. But I remember being in a place where I started, I think I mentioned this before, I really started to like lean into the fact that God loves me. And when I get like, when discontentment comes, it's when I've taken my eyes off that fact. When I've let go of the fact that like I am loved by God. And I am immeasurably loved by God, passionately loved by God. He pursued me. He came for me. He created me. He wants a relationship with me. And you too. Like, all that I'm saying for me is true for you too. If you don't know God, I'm telling you right now, you need to get to know him. Your life will not be the same. Especially, like, I've known God for a long time, but learning more about him, learning how he sees me, it is changing my life. And even if you do know God, if you are a Christian, like, dive in deeper, man. Spend more time with him. Get to know more about who he is and how he sees you. I'm telling you, woo, the last few years have been such a ride, such a wild ride. Like, I grew up in the church, but around 2012, 13ish, I had a lot of unbelief about God's goodness, about a future he had for me, about the plans he had for my life, and about the path my life was on, about the way things looked. I had doubt about my future and the way my life looked and the way things were going, and I had just gotten a big disappointment, and I decided to just make some choices that I should not have made. And I mean, this, like, I'm grateful for the people that were in my life at this time, because I think they were a great buffer, because it could have gotten a lot worse. But there was a point where God, like, finally got my attention and was like, sis, you do not belong here. What are you doing? And I just was, I still think about that. Almost every time I think about that, I'm like, man, God really cared enough for me to not just, like, create me, not just down the cross in a way that, like, affected the whole world, but also affected me. But, like, in the midst of me just out here doing my own thing, living my own life, doing whatever I wanted to do, God made a point to, like, come to me in dreams and, like, speak to me through other experiences, and, like, and through his word, and just be like, what are you doing? You don't belong here. And I mean, he's just really good. I don't, like, my vocabulary will fail me every time. He's just really good. I don't even have, like, amazing and wonderful and just fantastic. Like, those all just pale in comparison. Like, none of it's good enough. But he's just really, really good. So, that's what I have for you today. I hope you know him. I hope you know him. I hope you know him. Have a good night, y'all.